Hello. Hello, Enrique.
Hello, Pierre. How are you?
Very good, thank you. We are getting better and better with all of the preparations and all of the stuffs coming in. So this is welcome to our third BIM Cafe webinar. So that's great to have you all. Thank you very much for joining. Today we will have some more interesting discussion about the BIM, and one of the most important things, we already prepared the offer for you, all of you, for one of the products which we are just having in our offer. So just stay with us till the end and you will get the special discounts at the end of the webinar for our products. Enrique, I think the floor is yours.
Okay, I will take the floor. Hello, everyone, and thank you to show up for the second session, the third episode of our BIM Cafe. Sorry, the third. Let's start with the presentation and see what we're gonna see today in our nice place for learn about BIM. So we see here sorry, 2 weeks ago, what we saw about BIM, what was it, and the concept then about the concept of BIM, what really was it, and the things that can mean about BIM. No, or is it really the really knowing of the concept of BIM and seeing what those letters means behind all this BIM. So let's do a quick recap about it. Is oh, sorry, I have a bit of
It's
technical
okay.
problems. I couldn't go from the
Oh,
slides.
that's okay. That's the of the presentation. So
Yes.
it's
So as I said, just a quick recap, a couple of slides saying what we saw last time. What is BIM? Building Information Modeling. And the concept I was keep repeating the visualization and the information all together. We see how the product, the model, the concept, the idea looks, and also the data inside. So it's a combination of both elements in one unique file, in one unique concept. So we are not managing now visuals and technical data or just product data in a different way. We are talking about one unique global concept.
right. So just what you were saying on this, Enrique,
Mhm.
people usually make a mistake of taking the visualization as a key element of
Mhm.
BIM, and at the end, it's not really, right? So that's information plus visualization.
Exactly. Yeah. Always, I will emphasize this as many times as necessary. We are talking about information with data inside. Okay, it's not purely information. It's not nice 3D looking elements, or it's not only providing data. No, because this is the conventional way. Now we are merging those two things into one unique concept or file in terms of big projects or the simple products delivery, where we can deliver how our product is, how it looks, make it operatable for some softwares, and providing the data inside. So we can use that data to run simulations, make calculations, or whatever else. This last slide about the recap is what few concept and to clear ideas, because I talked to so many friends. So what BIM is this software, Revit. No, BIM is not a software. BIM is a methodology. It's a collaborative technology that can be used through different softwares. Also, it's not only 3D design. As I said, visualization plus information. Okay, it's not only visual. It's not only information. It's all together. It's not only for the AC sector, architecture, engineering, and construction. It also is part of the whole industry. That this concept of digital information, the transformation for the 4.0 industry, and we'll see in further session how this can affect to other departments such as sales or marketing, not only for the technical side. Um, Also, this is the word of linked data. I like it because it's not just data we put there and we miss it. It's data who are inside the product and it's being used and linked and be collaborative between different parties, so can run the performance of the whole project for the whole life cycle. Okay, so with all the products, so we can give this data and can be used with different people.
Okay, very clear for me. I'm just after the third time, I think I'm getting what is being what
Yeah,
is.
yeah. Will be fifth time if necessary. No worries. Visualization and information for me is the most important thing that people should get about BIM.
Okay.
Good. So let's jump into today's session. We'll talk about what BIM can offer. We just know about BIM and its definition, its concept, which looks really nice. But what can offer to me directly as an user, not depending on my position. I split between services and solutions, so kind of tools and people who can use it more or less. Let's jump on into the first point. the first idea of concept about what BIM can offer is, as I said, visualization plus information. So it's a complete 3D model which has all the representations and data inside, contained into one unique file. So inside the same product, the same project, sorry, we can generate plans, we can generate schedules, we can run simulation, we can see how it looks, we can make some renders. Everything is merged into one thing.
So this is like one single source of truth for the projects and for the construction, right?
Exactly, yeah. So this is very much the merging of all the data and representation into one file.
Okay, very good.
Good. And now getting a bit deeper into this, I highlight the three main services that BIM can offer in terms of sectors. Of course, there's way more. We can get into details if anyone have some more question about a specific area or something. But
Sure.
highlighting these ones, for me, the most important one, because it's the BIM, the most typical BIM software, they are focused on the design phase, the most important after coming to the construction. Of course, if we're thinking about design, we think about architectures. Is how they can design and how they can make realistic models. Okay, they can create concept, they can plan it, and bring those ideas from the planning phase up to how they will look on the construction. This is a whole carry out with the whole cycle of the project, not from the planning to the construction. We don't stop about the planning and give the plans to the workers and we forget about it. No, we can see how it looks, we can follow up, and we can really go further to see if our designs are really getting into what is going to be or not.
Okay.
This is here they take the more powerful
So
part of the
when you
visualization.
is this kind of thing is the rendering picture? So this is the picture.
Exactly. Yeah, the
That's
more
not
powerful thing.
okay. Understood. So you can render it. So you can put the different colors, different type of products, etc.
Textures, exactly. And this is a good part for the manufacturers where they can also provide real information, because we like things as we see them. So if we see this couch is nice, the texture too, we will more likely to buy it. No? So we provide him the real textures and colors that will look as it will be on the real life inside our project. So it's a very important feature for the manufacturer perspective or suppliers to provide
So
real
taking
elements.
this example, Enrique. So just we have the chimney here, right? So
Yeah,
this
yeah.
what you're saying, the chimney can have all of the characteristic which is really will be produced, and the manufacturer of the whole chimney, he can come and saying this is the size, this is the parameters, this is the place where you need to put it, and that's really what it comes from the manufacturer. It is not coming from the architect, it's coming from the manufacturer, right?
Exactly. But ideally, it will be like this. So the architect can always edit those products and make them look as they like and then look for the market to anyone. But why do this if the manufacturers can already provide their products? It's like go shopping online and create your own project. No, imagine a Lego house, taking the small pieces, but in real life. So if I were a chimney manufacturer, I would like to provide my chimney with the real bricks position, color, textures, and also input there some data if they want to run any other simulations. So the model is the most attractive one, is as more attractive as it can be. So the architects or designers, when they put it in the houses, in the design, in the projects, they say, okay, I really like this one, and you go to the shop, oh, it really looks on my computer, because of course it's a real representation of what the product should be.
Okay, clear.
Good. Another important part is the structural, with structural/engineering is where we can do all the technical side of the simulation. I highlight this one as analysis of loads and forces. For example, you can run simulations to see how the forces or the strength are balanced or displayed along the building. In this case, no, it's the simplest one is to take a building. Well, it doesn't need to be a building always, of course, but this can also be expanded up to thermals or sound simulation, and you don't need to use third-party or different software to run the simulation. This can be also do it with the software with allows BIM, no? For example, Revit or Archicad. We talked about it last time. So it's an important feature for the engineers and more technical side, who can also take the design from architectures and implement there using the data which is already inside. No? This is important because we cannot run the simulation of the forces if we don't know the weight, for example, the density of those materials. So if the providers give the density of materials to these BIM files, we can do those simulation and use that data, which is not a link. Now will be linked to the whole project.
So, for example, in this moment, I can change the manufacturer because that's the different characteristic. So I can go for other manufacturer, which allow me to just to keep the building safe, and it will just keep the characteristic what is desired, right?
Mhm.
If the manufacturer what I choose it before was not really the keeping the right parameters for
Mhm.
my whole building. Okay.
Yeah, on this example, you can see there is some red parts on the left side. These are they are going embedded, and maybe they won't stand the structure. In this case, so, okay, I can try and change the materials of the ceiling or of the floor to a lighter concrete from a different manufacturer or the same one, and instantly this coordinate and update. So you see the result. Okay, this lighter will work better here or not. So it's a very intuitive way. Of course, you need technical knowledge to do all this because it sounds very efficient and very easy. But this can be done, of course, with the software. No, the technology is way above the the human limit still. So
Okay.
we can do
Very
all this testing. Good. And lastly, one of the main also parts, the MIP, the mechanical, electrical, and plumbing installation. Today can also be stand. Some people talk about MIPIT or MIPT for the telecommunication systems as well, because they also require their own network nowadays. And this is very important for the coordination between them, because when we usually have people who run the electricity network and then other ones are doing the plumbing for the watering, for example, they don't think about my system will clash or will go through. No, I want to go through this hole or up to this ceiling, and they don't think about the rest of them. So it's important. So they plan their own system, and they overlap with their with other services, with other providers, and see if there is clashes, if there are overlays. You can run your system without clashing with other ones. So it's a very important characteristics for these first suppliers.
So when I look at this, Enrique, I see this as you mentioned the telecommunication, but one of the part of the whole exercise, we can be also as you mentioned, the network, but not only the network, but also the Wi-Fi points, where to put them,
Yeah.
and just to see if they will be able to cover, because usually you have the separates, when you go with the network, you do the separate operations,
Mhm.
separate analysis, where to put the Wi-Fi points. And maybe that's really can be also just interesting because you will just limit the number of the channels which you need to put the cables, and you can just optimize it really on the moment when you have the electricity plus the network together. What's smart? So you can
Mhm.
run the simulation as well on this one, right? So just you can
Yeah,
see.
yeah, completely. And this is for the Wi-Fi points, for example, the IP points is a very interesting thing, as you need to plug them. No? We need electricity. People from the Wi-Fi they need electricity, so it's important for you to have the electricity network or see where the plugs are, because cables cannot run on the internet cable cannot run more than 90 meters by law, no. Otherwise, their performance can be worse or stuff like that. Or I want a Wi-Fi here, but I don't have the plug there, so I cannot put the Wi-Fi there. So it's important to have this coordination of services and have them all on the same on the same place, so you can check others people network as they might affect your work as well.
Mhm. That's good because everybody thinks that Wi-Fi, the network is
But,
everywhere. So that's
yeah,
good.
electricity go through the air, no?
Very soon.
Good. So highlighted all those three services. I say there is way more that we can get into details if anyone has any requirements. Now I will present some specific solution that come from BIM related to these services. No, how can really help and provide some assistant for this one. And the main one, talking what I just talked about it, is the clash detection. For me, is one of the most important ones, as it helps for the coordination and collaboration between those services. The example I said before, I'm running my electricity network, and then there is some pipe for the water that needs to be also in place. But I'm not gonna do it my design considering the pipes during the whole process. No, so we just do our design, we overlay each other, and we see how they merge. Okay, you will have some requirements to go a certain level or not, but there's places where also, of course, in large projects, I will mainly say, where you can find some potential clashes. And with BIM, you can see on this representation how they can even highlight the clashes. They can extract it and say, okay, these potential conduits are clashing with others, so we need to propose a solution and bring it to a stage. No? So you can see, let me just go back, how this is the solution is to merge those two or separate them so they don't clash with the other pipes. This is one of the most important features because the coordination of services talking in large scale works is one of the main problem and cause delays and extra money.
Right, right. So just what you're telling me, I think this is really linked to the way how you optimize the whole construction and cost of really of the solution. Because if one team will just do the piping and the second one will come and just destroy it to make it different, it's the extra cost for the whole operation. So I think the cost perspective here is just huge. You know, the savings part is huge.
Yeah. Going to the second one, the generation of documentation, the documentation. This is one of the features, one of the solutions that can also help others, other non-technical or not that technical side of the businesses. Bill of quantities, materials, takeoff, this can be extracted directly from BIM. You are creating your project, editing your materials. You have, of course, dimensions, surface, volume, numbers, items, and the materials composed with the properties and so on. When all this information is there, and remember, it's not unlinked, it's linked. We can do things with them and collaborate with them. So we can extract the information from Excel spreadsheets, CSV files, and create lists like shopping or like lists of what materials do I have, how many do I need, and even we can implement cost estimation, because the cost is a feature you can customize and edit to that. If the manufacturer doesn't provide, you can add them, you can add for estimations, you add it to your project, and you get a cost estimation about how much my project will cost, how much gypsum I will need, how many doors of this type is, if I know the price per item, and so on.
Okay, so this is something which is interesting, because can be linked directly with the different ERP systems,
Exactly.
which allows you just to seamless flow between your design and the manufacturing and the production. So I think that's really extra cost savings for all, and the time savings really between the architect, between the construction, the preparation, the planning, and the manufacturing. Well, that's interesting. Yep.
And it's good also because that help you. We are taking more about the data here for the generation of this documents. Architects are the one who eventually place the design, no, on the building and set the dimensions. Let's say like this. So if we are providing windows, or we are providing roofs or cities or whatever, we will need those design, and we can go inside and see how many square meter we have of this wall, how many roof ceilings of this type we have. So this information we can extract from the architectures without getting in touch with them and asking them for, hey, how many square meters do you place for this type of ceiling, because I need to put my roof on the top. You can see that on the project. The information is already there, so that also is the flow information between the different parties. And this is something I just make a perfect introduction for my last solution, which is the known CDE common data environment during all the life cycle assessment, during the whole life cycle project.
Yeah, that's difficult. That's difficult. What is this thing? Tell me.
Yeah. Don't be scared for all as many people that are connected. No, there will be problems if many people connect. No. This similar concept, common data environment, is let's imagine a cloud or a methodology which can also be BIM, where all the data is shared there. If you need references, you need information, you go to the same place. It's the unique reference source for the information, where everyone, you can see at least there few interactors of a project, like contractor, engineer, supplier, and so on, but many others can be part of this common data environment, or CDE, where you refer there to go there, take information. You don't need to, if a contractor is told to the client to ask something about the requirements of how to run the installation. If those requirements are already been sent and described, you will go to the CDE. You don't need to go to the client directly. Everything is already shared. It's there on the same standardized format if we talk about BIM. And this run from the conception of the project, the pre-conception of the project, up to the maintenance, and we say demolition even, because the data stays there. The data keeps on the cloud. If an architect 5 years after finishing the project decide to change the display of the door to this other one, you change on the project, this data is already on the CD, on the common data environment, as the BIM file is coordinated and updated. So if 2 years after a contractor wants to provide a new different type of door for this, they see that they have been changed and they can adapt to the size and so on. Just taking an example, but it's how the data stay there, not only for the construction, and when the construction is finished, we just break all those paper or burn them down. It stays there as a common data environment for the whole life cycle of the project. I think it's very important to highlight this.
Very good.
Mhm.
I think I understood, but just maybe not all, but okay.
Slowly we'll do it. So
Slowly. Okay, thank you.
the last point of the agenda is to make a small summary about how these services and solution can affect to my business in general and to my projects. I list them here on the left side of the screen and how they can really affect to my project. No? So for example, all the services, architectural, structural, MIP, and telecommunications, and so on, they can of course increment the productivity because it's, as we talk about the coordination, make the project accessible to all the parties. So between them, they can collaborate and increment the productivity and the efficiency of the project. And also save time because that coordination is an efficient information sharing, working also as the CDE, same as the CDE.
So what are you saying? It's just this part will just do we have any data in terms of the how much productivity we can gain on this, or just because I always like the consultant which are coming saying, oh, I can increase your productivity, but is there any data from the market which are just showing up what's the increment we can have it in terms of the project?
Yeah, there is some reports there that you can save in construction phase. I can show these numbers and reports for the next session because I read them some recently. I remember, if I'm not mistaken, it's about, like I said, if productivity increase up in terms of efficiency up to 60% during the construction phase, because you can see how many mistakes can be done on large project when there is so many people coordinated between them. So you can get up to the 60%.
Up 60%, 60?
Yeah. Mhm.
Oh my God. Okay, let's just invest in this because I think this is because it's 60% that was just, and if you think about the big construction, which goes
Yeah.
in millions.
I think this is taking on large scale mostly because when more factors can be involved and more problems can happen.
Yeah. Well, wow.
Mhm.
Okay, if you think about the airport, if you're building the airport, 60% of the cost of the airport, wow,
Yeah,
that's
well, the,
a lot.
this is in case of productivity. No, I'm not talking about the cost. Of course, it's more productivity, but
Yeah,
no,
but you
for
can,
sure.
yes, I understood it. You can do this 60% faster. That's fine.
Yes.
I still
Mhm.
like it because that's
It's a
okay.
combination of saving time, saving the money, and mostly reducing the errors. No, this is one of the other main topics here, that is reducing the number of errors which create
Good.
the costs for the coordination.
I am in. Good.
I mean, yeah. The next one of the solution, the class detection, we just talk about it, reduce the cost. This is very straightforward, basically doesn't need explanation. We just link that we coordinate service and we avoid errors. There won't be no unlogic installations on the project. No, there won't be no clashes. There will be not people arguing because no, I put my pipe here first. And this is you should see things I saw on some construction sites how they put the things to avoid. Okay, I need to go through here, but there's already a massive conduit. So if, I'm gonna make a triple loop with my pipe on the cable looped around the screw. So this will save much time for seeing these potential errors and making those parts collaborative. You see all these different productivity, cost, time, save, they are related between them. Basically, they don't go one without each other because they're all
Yeah,
related.
that's a good one. I think this is also you can see in the different manufacturing cycles. So I think that's really easy. That's a good one. Yeah.
Mhm. Good. The documentation solution, of course, increment the productivity because you can do these things directly from the files. You don't need to go and use different software or start to talk about other manufacturers to generate those documentation. I can just directly send it to the marketing or sales or suppliers to run those purchase of cost estimation. So it's a very big step forward, getting that information directly from the file. There's no editing involved. You don't need to then put all the data the linked data comes from the bin file.
Okay.
And lastly, when we talk about the common data environment or CDE during the whole life cycle of the project, that can link directly to save time because the information is shared efficiently. There's a big reduction of the information flow, how many emails we can save or how calls between different parties to agree on that information. Okay, I remember you told me 2 months ago that this product had this specific thermal resistance, but I forgot about it. Or I don't find this paper. Or did you change it? look, this, if the data is still valid, is on the CDE, it will be on the component environment, it will be on the BIM file. If we change it, we update it, and it still will be on the BIM file. So it drastically reduces this communication workflow between the different parties involved. And I think there's a very big save of time and then money as well.
Okay, clear. So what you're saying, just I can using BIM, but I really like all of the stuff, but I think there is some stuff which you need to do really upfront to make sure that you can just verify, because you need to have some baseline or something, because
Yeah,
reducing
completely.
cost and productivity. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. All of the consultants are coming and they can just do the miracles, but it's just you need to have some baseline. So I think maybe also the next time we can just talk about the examples and just to really to show with some numbers, really just
Yeah,
to get.
showing numbers to back up this, of course. Yeah, there is some reports. I've seen some numbers about how products have been benefit from BIM in terms of number. Okay, reduce it 25% of my time. It can be done with 55% less of my cost or whatever. So we can show those numbers and see how the real life the projects are working. But also, I want to think it forward on the sense that many governments, here in Europe and America and Asia, everywhere, they are pushing BIM tenders around. So if you want to work for these public projects, you need to do it in BIM. This is moving this direction. So I don't think the public agencies, public governments will go on that direction if there is no a solid and more saving technology on that.
Yeah, but I think it's important. What I see, Enrique, is also the transparency, what you mentioned. You have this one data point which you can collect information. So that's not only for all of the construction, but also you can audit it through the cycle. So you can see when you make the mistake or when you need to do this. So that's also just can give you some lessons learned for your next project, and to find out what to do really on the next time. Which kind of what kind of coordination you need, what type of steps. So I think that's fair.
Completely. This is not. You're not gonna take. Let's say if BIM projects on average save you 25% of the time, you're not gonna take this 25% of your first BIM project. During the training, you need to get the people knowing about this and learn about the workflows, and slowly you will get there.
Very good. Thank you very much. So that's nice.
Yeah. So that's basically all for today. We just draft quickly while we will talk on the next session. As you say, we'll go deeper on the people who use BIM, all the mainly AEC sector, but also planner builders, facility managers, and so on, talking a bit also about numbers, who we mentioned today, and how this also can be a benefit different non-technical sides of the business, like sales or marketing. Also, when we draft a bit this today, we talk about a bit today, or we can show some numbers relating the sales and the BIM, how can get benefit from it, not only increasing efficiency on projects, also giving more business to manufacturers, for example, or to architects or so on.
Okay. Very good. So thank you. I think this is makes sense. So we will just talk about it the next time about all of the. Also, just we will bring some numbers as well, just to make sure we can illustrate it. As I said on the beginning, just we have the great offer for all of the people watching us and just wish to just start the adventure in BIM, in the building information modeling. We offer you the BIM readiness assessment, which is a set of different questions and validation within your company to say if your company is ready or which stage of the BIM you are right now. Because what Enrique show is really just the state of the art at the end, really how you have shared everything. So, but there is a different stages to come to this place and the different ways of also to do. So what we do and we do with our clients, the first step really of all of our work is really to do the BIM assessment. Today we give you the 35% of the discount. So just that's for 400 euros assessments of the where you are. And that's where you can just start having the actionable steps going for the next stages, if you like. So it's 5 days to go. So that's still Thursday. I think that's what we said with Enrique till Thursday night. So just if you wish to share it with the friends, go ahead and use this webinar as a reference for getting the discount on the offer. So I think that's what we would like to do go for.
Exactly. It's setting the first step to get BIM, bring BIM into your business. So they wrote them, deliver the roadmap and see what step the company needs to move forward to get all the benefits of this new methodology.
And I think that's it really for it. So
Mhm.
thank you very much, Enrique, for having just discussing this today. Just I think that was interesting session in terms of the what are the really the specific topics which we can address it and how we can move it from the topic which is very theoretical to the three elements: productivity, cost savings, and the third one was what was the
Practical savings and time saving as well.
time,
The main one.
time, cost, and the productivity. Okay,
Yeah, yeah. To the
so
three one.
that's the 3 points which we address it.
Excellent.
Thank you very much all for watching. We have just a pretty good number of people today joining us on the different channels. You can see us on Twitter, you can see us on YouTube, and also on LinkedIn. So thank you very much for joining us today, and just see you next time. When will be the next time, Enrique?
Oh, the next episode we will have it on the second week of May. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, we can see there the display the 13th of May,
Okay,
10 a.m. Friday as usual. Okay, everything will be ready
30th,
there.
30th Friday. Just maybe you're supposed to do this at 1 o'clock, so it will be 30. No, okay, so 10 o'clock.
We face a challenge. We face a challenge. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much for all you guys. Thanks, Enrique, for just leading the webinar today. And see you in May then.
Thank you so much. See you in May, guys.
Thank you,
Bye.
guys. Bye-bye.